Hey people, how you doing, man? What's going on? Tim Anthony Ford here, and I just put a little bit of paint on the walls and whatnot. So, man, where can I even start, man? It's been an interesting few weeks. I guess I always start like that, don't I? I'm like, oh, it's been an interesting few weeks. So, within the last few weeks, I've learned a little thing, a few things. I've learned, how important it is for you to have a decent childhood. Um, it's mad important, man. It's so important that if you look at it like this, literally, you having a good childhood is like, as a someone I spoke to last week said, is like having a good foundation, a good housing foundation for you guys that are bricklayers or whatever, into building houses and stuff like that. And it's so damn important to have such an amazing foundation, and it's said with absolutely everything. Like, I'm sure it's in the holy books as well, where it basically just talks about how important having a great foundation is, a strong foundation. When you have a strong foundation, what you have is the ability to build, yeah, to build a successful human being, or a successful building. Well, you can't put success and building together, but a strong building, that will kind of test the times, And I guess it is for for a human being as well. If you do not have a strong foundation in your home, where your mother and father haven't fed you knowledge, understanding, love, especially love, if they've never fed you love, then you will struggle, in a sense, for you to get where you want to get to. Like, I know, like, for instance, for me, like, personally for me, growing up, I had, I guess, the foundation where my mom always said to me, never ever steal, do not ever steal. Anything that you ever need, come to me and ask. If I'm able to do, I will do. I mean, my stepdad growing up never said that to me, but he gave me. So that was weird. That was really weird. So just before I pressed pause, as soon as I spoke about my stepdad, the Hoover turned itself on. I was crazy. That was crazy. Yo, that was crazy. So basically, I guess, I'm one of those kind of people who kind of like are very sort of spiritual like that. So just a very quick story about my stepdad. Basically, Sylvester Akinwumi Ogumoiwa, like, for me, he's probably been the greatest influencer, the greatest Aquarius influencer, like, in my life, growing up. And it's just kind of amazing to think, what he went through, what he put me through in terms of learning and whatnot, even though he knew I wasn't his son, but he still helped me out. So anyway, so basically, very quickly, when he passed away, there was when he passed away, I was in just flying from Nigeria back to London, and he passed away in London. And I remember crying, bawling my eyes out. Yeah. So basically, I remember, like, where he was in a mortuary or whatnot, and I went in to have my last bit of time with him, and I remember him there lying on a mortuary, I guess, bed or whatnot. And I remember just basically saying to him, Dad, like, forgive me, man. like, forgive me for everything I've ever done to you. You know, like whenever I was a naughty child, or whenever I disobeyed you, you know, as a son. This is obviously before I knew, you know, the things I did, all of these things, before I knew he was my stepdad, and before I gained so much respect for him. But basically, I remember just asking him for forgiveness, and I remember, obviously, it's, you know, this whole mortuary thing or whatnot. There's lights coming from behind. It's like, you know, just glass, like stained glass or whatnot. And I remember saying, Dad, if you hear me, if you if you forgive me, whatever, show me a sign. And obviously, you know, however coincidental it is, you know, the strength of the mind, the strength of, you know, whatever. But this big, bright sunlight literally came through the windows, you know, the window pane or whatnot, at that, you know, very moment. And I'm the kind of person where I'm a dreamer, I'm an Aquarius. And, you know, those kind of spiritual things are nothing. They're nothing to me, in a sense. Like, I'm not gonna say like I speak to a spirit world or anything crazy like that, but I'm saying, like, you know, when I see signs, I know they're signs. It's the same way where when I was in Nigeria, let's say, and the same said father, stepfather, used to discipline me and used to hit me a little bit too much. And I remember wanting to getting a knife, wanted to cut my wrist, and I remember running that blunt blade over my wrist instead of a sharp blade. But before that, there was a big, you know, a bright light came through the window, and in a sense, it was a warmth within me. And in a way, there was a presence that said to me that there was so much on this planet for me to yet do. And I didn't, you know, obviously take my life because I'm here now. You know, I was at 7 years old at the time. But basically, I feel like this same light came through the window as I was asking for my father, literally on his deathbed. He had died. He was lying down, not breathing, you know, dead, ready, you know, done all the stuff that you know, the mortuary, you know, do to dead bodies or whatnot. And I'm literally talking to him. So I guess at this particular point, his soul had already left his body, and in a sense, in a way, was speaking to me. That's how I'm gonna look at it. That's how I'm gonna interpretate this particular, you know, this scenario of events. And this big old sunlight came in and shone over me, and it was just interesting. It was a beautiful feeling, and I knew he heard me, and I knew he was there. Like when you watch those films and you know, like Ghost and stuff like that, and you think, oh my gosh, it's just a film. But I felt it. It's kind of weird, I know. But I digress ever so, not even slightly. I digress proper. Like, you know, obviously me getting to this, to where I am right now talking, is because the Hoover just went off by itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a bit weird. Coincidental, weird, whatever. A sign, whatever. But anyway, so I was talking about foundation and how important a good foundation is. You know, and a foundation in a child, if a child hasn't been given all the love, protection, man, respect. Even a child needs to be respected. Show him, you know, that showing love is, I guess, respect to a certain extent. If you don't have that as a little human being, as a little man or little woman, yeah, growing up, when you grow up, those memories of your childhood are going to affect you. Now, it's so important that all those with children right now, give your children the best memories ever. Give them their best memories ever. Do not forsake them. Yeah. Do not abandon them. Do not, go without showing them love every single day. Discipline every single day. Because discipline is also love. When I'm talking about discipline, I don't mean grabbing your child and beating the living daylights of your child because the child has done something wrong. It's a case of showing them what is right and wrong and why you mustn't do that. It is so important that you just give your children so much love. It's so freaking important, man. I can't tell you how important. Honestly, can't tell you how important it is. I mean, it's interesting because I meet a lot of people during, within my line of work as, filmmaker, and even when I work as a security operative for like several, couple of companies or whatever, and operations and stuff. And my thing is getting to know them. Like, I haven't come into this world to just be a worker of men, just to work. You know what I mean? I've come into this planet to create and to, in a sense, help humanity, whichever way or form that I'm here to help humanity. That's my role on this earth. That's what I believe. And I guess what I'm saying is, when I meet people, you always meet those people who, I seem to always meet those people who seem to want to have their soul touched, their soul massaged, in a sense, because they have gone through some or going through some ish, from childhood to adulthood. And it intrigues me to how simple it really is to have avoided all the torment that these adults, then children, went through, because their parents were either not ready to have children, or when they had children, had a mental imbalance or imbalance in their psyche or whatever to take care of children. Now I'm 39, and trust me, the people that know me know I want children, like, bad. Like, I want to leave a legacy behind. And I almost feel like I have always been ready, I guess. But I felt like maybe I needed to learn a few things about myself and a few things about life, I guess, because I'm still growing. Because I feel like, in a way, my growth has been stunted. My not necessarily my emotional intelligent and my emotional intelligent growth, but more something that kind of transpires. And I think there's a lot of people within my age group that kind of have this thing. Not all of them, but a few people that I know of that have this thing where they feel like they haven't quite got there, and I don't know if it's a case of what society wants us to be, but I 100% feel is because of the lack of certain things that I didn't get in my childhood. Like, one of the most important things I believe I didn't get in my childhood was how to really earn money, the importance of money. I was never sort of sat down by either parent or teachers and explained to how money or the essence of money, how important it is in the world, how important it is to put it this way. All that was fed to me was, you must be a doctor, you must be a lawyer, you must be an accountant, a lawyer, or a doctor, basically. Yeah, That's all that was fed to me. Never like, this is the reason why I feel like you must be a doctor. There was no thing. I was way too emotionally intelligent at that age, 4, 5 or whatever, to be told to be a doctor, not given a reason. I was that child that was always like, why? Why? If you don't tell me your why, I'm not gonna do it. And I guess like psychologically, emotionally, or whatever, I found my own path. I found my own way. And I guess I'm still finding it. So listen, people, I've gone on longer than I expected, which is always me. I like to talk. And when I do start these talks, I never have a direction of what I'm going to talk about, which could be bad, which could be good. I think it depends. I'm an Aquarian. I guess for me as an Aquarian, it means a lot for me to be able to expand and just talk freely, and basically talk with the spirits and wherever the spirit guides me. Concluding what I'm talking about today, it's important that you look within yourself as an adult right now. Figure out if there's some things that you possibly need to change because of something that happened to you in your childhood. You know, I can't even give you examples because it's just so vast. It's up to you as an individual for you, if you want to change the things that you're doing now that you do not like about yourself. Look to the past and assess your childhood. If you can remember it, assess your childhood and see if there's something that happened to you as a child that, a lack of love or lack of, something that your parents didn't give you. If there's something that you didn't get as a child, yeah, and it's still bothering you as an issue, if you are lucky enough to have the offending parent around, it's for you to now sit this parent down, because you're both adults now, and express your feelings. See if you can get past that. If you're at a stuck place in your life, this is where you need to basically speak up and speak to that parent and say, listen, I believe I'm not able to move forward because of such and such that happened, such and such back there. But you cannot lament and stay in this place forever, in a place of, woe is me. You cannot be in that place forever. You literally have to quickly talk about it as intensely as you can and move on. If it doesn't work, you literally need to give yourself a whole week, if that, yeah, to basically talk about this situation, yeah, and move on. If you cannot move on within a week, like, don't even go there before you even, you know what I mean? Like, if it's going to take longer than a week for you to hash this out, yeah, then just move on. Because it might be a case of just speaking to a therapist, yeah? And I don't mean that to be funny. But listen, people, whatever your childhood is about, whatever's happened to you in your childhood, heal yourself. Heal by speaking, talking to someone, talking to the person that's actually made you feel this hurt, and move forward, move on. Do not be stuck in your life because you haven't forgiven. Yeah. So people, thank you very much. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do today.